Hey everyone, welcome back to Purposeful Armament, and today we are going to be talking about and demoing something that I'm actually really surprised is even a point of contention in the firearms community. And that is how and when to clean your firearms. Now this video is going to be structured more towards brand new firearms owners. There's a lot of information out online. There's a lot of people who say a lot of different things about your cleaning regimen for your firearm, and I'm here to kind of set the record straight on how it should actually be done. So you have essentially two groups of people. One group who cleans their firearms after every single range trip. No matter how many rounds they fire through that gun, they will take it home and they will immediately clean it. And you have another group of people who will never clean anything ever. And these two groups of people seem to think that they are the end-all be-all and they are 100% correct. But actually, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Not too much more complicated, because at the end of the day, we're just talking about cleaning. Now, I can give anecdotal story after anecdotal story. I have known so many people who will take their guns to the range and they will clean their gun after every single range trip. And a lot of times they will hold back on going to the range, or they will bring fewer guns or shoot fewer rounds because they really don't want to go home and clean everything. On the other hand, I know people who have never cleaned anything and who will pretty much go until their gun just starts malfunctioning and it's just generally unreliable before they even pick up CLP and start to clean their guns. So for this video, again, it is explicitly structured towards new gun owners. I'm going to talk about the two different types of cleaning, at least that I identify, and then I'll talk about when to do it. And while I'm talking about those types of cleaning, I'm also going to give you guys a demonstration of how I personally go about doing it. So this is what at least I call the two types of cleaning. You have surface cleaning and you have a deep clean or a field strip clean. Let's take a look at how to do each of these types of cleaning. Okay, so here's a quick little demo of surface cleaning your pistol. Now, on this pistol, because of the way the grip works, I can't really clean this kind of debris that's been kind of clogging this area. It still has a nice tactile feel, so it's not really a big deal whatsoever. We're going to make sure that this is clear. Okay, so all we need really is a rag. It can even be a dirty rag like this. It doesn't really matter, but if there was water or anything, I want to essentially wipe it off, make sure it's clean. You want to make sure that the lens of your flashlight is clear as well. You can see a little bit of carbon buildup towards the top, but it's nothing bad. The light still shines perfectly fine, but you want to make sure if you're shooting this a lot that you're cleaning this lens off so that you're getting optimal light output. And another big thing is if you're running a dot, you want to make sure that the front and the rear lens are nice and clear as well, so that there's no smudging on your dot or any weird stuff like that. And this dot is what's known as an open emitter. So the emitter is back here, right where my finger is at. We want to make sure that that's pretty much clear and unobstructed. So sometimes lint or dirt will fall down in here. You take the pistol out and it gets caught and it slides back down towards the emitter. So, just make sure it's nice and clear. This you should be able to see. Obviously it's going to look kind of jank on a camera, but it is totally fine. For the lenses, obviously all you really need is microfiber cloth. Give it a nice little clean. Give it a nice little clean. Now, for cleaning that light, you can use this. This is a bottle of Fabuloso. You could also use an eraser from a pencil. I don't have any pencils because I'm not a loser, but you could use an eraser from a pencil. You could put a layer of chapstick down on your light beforehand, but for us, if we want to clear this light off, we're going to grab some Fabuloso and we're going to put some on this paper towel. Just a little drop. Just a little tiny spurt. A little bit. Not a whole lot. And it is going to smell like a Mexican restaurant bathroom, to be honest. And we're just going to rub this on the light. This light will be pretty much as clear as it's gonna get, right? So some debris is off of that. There's the light. And that's pretty much all for surface clean. Now, one thing before we move on from surface clean You can get some of this stuff. This is rim oil, or you could just get WD-40, really whatever, doesn't matter. If you find surface rust on your pistol, or on your rifle, or on anything with metal, you find some surface rust, all you gotta do is spray some of this stuff onto a rag like this, and just wipe it away. It's as simple as that. Okay, now to demo a deep clean of your firearm. Okay, so this is gonna be the field strip clean. So for this, for a Glock style gun, we're gonna remove the slide. We have our frame, we have our slide. We're gonna remove the recoil spring, and we're going to remove the barrel. Okay, for a Glock, and more or less for a SIG, and even a 1911, this is field strip. Okay, as you can see, pretty good amount of debris on my hands, carbon buildup. Okay, what we are going to do, we're going to give all of this a clean. Okay, so again, you can use rim oil, you can use CLP. Just make sure that you understand something like rim oil, you can actually wipe away. You're supposed to wipe away, so it will actually be dry. So we are just going to spray some, well, we're just going to spray some on the actual gun itself. Give a little spurt there, a little spurt there. Get a few spurts, and we're just going to start kind of cleaning. I generally like to kind of clean everything. We're just going to use a rag, and anything that is black that should be like kind of a silvery color, we're going to try and make sure that we get it. This was just recently cleaned, so it's not going to have too much of an effect, but as you can see, more or less clean. There's a lot of debris down in here, so let's go ahead and try and get some of that out there. For this, it might be a good idea to have an old toothbrush or some other brush that you can get down in there, but that's pretty good. That's done. Now all we're really going to do is probably give this a little quick spray, and we're going to take the barrel, just give this a nice little clean. Okay, it's clean. And we'll give the inside of the slide, specifically down here where the striker is at. Give this a nice little clean as well. All right, so not gonna be perfect, but that is pretty much a deep clean. If you want to, you can take a patch, do the exact same thing, spray some of this on the patch, run it down the bore, run it through the barrel, and you can clean it out, but this is not in too bad a shape, so we're not really going to do that. But that's pretty much how you will do your deep clean. So now that we saw the demo, let's talk about when and why to do these different types of cleaning. So let's start with surface cleaning. On my CCW, I'm carrying it every single day, rain or shine. So typically it gets a surface clean once a week. But you really want to make sure that you're cleaning it enough to where your dot lenses are clear, your emitter is not obstructed in any way. If it has an open emitter, you want to make sure that your grip isn't, clogged with a bunch of dirt or grime from anywhere. You want to just make sure that the pistol is looking nice. And if it gets wet, you want to make sure that that water is removed quickly so that it doesn't start to form surface rust. Now, I also go to the range once or twice a month, and I take some other guns that I don't carry with me every single day. And for those guns that see much less use, I will give those a surface clean once every few months. Maybe every other month is adequate for doing a quick little surface clean over there. Just make sure it's nice and up to stuff. Long-term storage. You can go much longer with a gun in long-term storage without surface cleaning it. So if you are using a gun safe or any environment that is humidity controlled, I would say you're probably good to not surface clean your guns for at least a year, if not longer. If your guns are sitting in an environment where it's not humidity controlled, maybe it's a gun cabinet, maybe it's just sitting in the back of a closet or something, I would try and make sure that depending on the humidity in the area you live, or how humid or how much moisture is in the air of your home, maybe do 6 months at that. Even if you don't feel humidity in your home, or you don't feel like there's a whole lot of moisture in the air, that metal on your guns really will feel it. Now, deep cleaning. We saw the demonstration of deep cleaning. Now, when do you want to do this and why? Well, obviously we want to do this to prevent malfunctions. I will give a quick anecdote. I have a Glock 19 that I've had for many, many years. I put probably 7,000 rounds through it without ever cleaning it or oiling it pretty much ever. After about 7,000 rounds, I started to notice a lot of problems. I had a lot of failured feeds. I had a lot of failures to ejects, failure to extracts. I had a ton of stovepipes. Overall, the gun was not running reliably. So to remedy this, I took it apart, cleaned it, and voila, like magic, the gun started working totally fine. Things can go for a long time without you having to do these deep cleans, but it's not always a good idea. So what I recommend doing is taking a look at your owner's manual. I know probably no one ever looks at these, but they actually, believe it or not, have information on how you should clean and care for your firearm. Because I know this is wild, absolutely insane, but the engineers who have spent countless hours, even years, perfecting the design of the firearm or designing the firearm in general know how it's going to perform when dirty and know the appropriate level of which you should clean the firearm. Now, I will give a quick little caveat to that. That's not always 100% true. What I mean by that is the following. Take a look at the Glock manual. It says that you should clean your firearm after every single range trip. So does the Shadow Systems MR920. Now, I don't actually do that with these two. I follow SIG's recommendation for their P365. In SIG's manual, it says a minimum of 500 rounds between cleanings. That is typically what I tend to do, because sometimes I could take the Glock to the range and shoot maybe 50 rounds through it. Sometimes I might shoot 200 rounds through it. Sometimes I might shoot 1,000 rounds through it. Who knows, right? So I like to have that 500 round mark. It's a decent enough amount of ammo to give me a couple of range trips before I actually really need to clean it. So I'm not always cleaning it every single range trip. It's more like every other or every 3 range trips. And I found that to be working fantastic for me over the past couple of years of shooting. I've put thousands of rounds through these guns at this point. So I was looking at my MDR-X manual here from Desert Tech, and they actually suggest 1,000 rounds between cleanings. So it really depends on the gun's manufacturers. That's why I say that you should look at what they are saying. Typically for handguns, I'm totally fine with extending it out a little bit, maybe 500 rounds, maybe even 1,000 rounds, somewhere around there, but have a regiment that you know and you understand. Now, I will say, if you are running suppressed and you're running a baffled can, not so much the flow through cans, but a baffled can, I would probably chop down the round count that the manufacturer recommends probably in half. I know that I have a baffled can which runs very, very dirty in my AR, and it can induce malfunctions, and it can induce them much quicker because there's going to be a lot more gas blowing back into the system. So if you're running suppressed, keep that in mind whenever you're cleaning. You know, maybe adjust your cleaning regimen depending on if it's being shot suppressed or not. I think that you should not wait until the gun is malfunctioning to actually clean it. I think you should clean it way before then. Because if the gun is so dirty that it is malfunctioning, that's just a bad sign all around. Because my Glock lasted until about 7,000 rounds. Your Glock might only last until 5,000. So you might be at the 5,000 round mark and need to pull your gun out and it's not been cleaned, and oh, I have a stovepipe. Oh, failure to extract. Oh, failure to feed. All of these different things that could be induced from not cleaning your firearm. Now, I know a lot of this might seem like, duh, you know, kind of thing, but a lot of new gunners don't know this. They're going onto the internet, like you're probably doing right now, trying to figure out information on how you should go about this gun ownership thing, and you're going to get fed wrong information, which could cause damage to your firearm, could cause damage to yourself. So like I said, probably a lot of you are like, wow, this seems very obvious, this seems kind of dumb, why are you even making a video on this? And it's to help out those new people who might not really know what to do yet and who are going to the internet for guidance. Follow the tips that I laid out here and you're going to be 100% okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this quick little video, and remember, stay armed. I miscounted my rounds.